Welcome to the Business Chop, where challenges, success, rewards, and solutions to entrepreneurship collide. Let's chop it up. Chop Squad, it's great to be with you as usual. Are you ready to unlock the secrets of personal branding and innovation? You know, those are my favorite topics. Today, we're thrilled to welcome Al Kushner to the show. Al is a celebrated thought leader, award-winning author, and a trailblazer in AI-driven strategies that are reshaping the way we connect, grow, and lead. With a knack for turning complex ideas into actionable insights, Al empowers individuals and organizations to stand out and thrive in an evolving world. We'll be right back to learn more about Al and hear from him directly after this message from my company, Altogether Marketing. And by the way, we celebrated 18 years this year. Thank you. Knock out your competition with Altogether Marketing. We elevate your brand. Take a stance with your business name, logo, the tagline, your colors, even the fonts for your business. And then jab left with your website, jab right with core values. Back up with product experience and bring it on with you. Visit altogether.biz and let us help you create a knockout brand. We're back. In this episode, Al will share practical strategies for building a distinctive personal brand, insights into harnessing AI for growth, and inspiration to help you push boundaries and transform our paths forward. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or someone eager to step into the future with confidence, this conversation promises to ignite your next breakthrough. Al Kushner, welcome to the Business Chop.
Thank you, Audrey. I appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. So before we get started, with our other questions here, you want to share a couple of fun facts with the Chop Squad?
Well, trying to think about some fun facts, I guess. I'm originally from New York City. So I moved to Florida about 10 years, and I'm still trying to get used to the Florida heat. It's just tremendous. But anyway, the Florida Panthers have won their championship, for second year in a row. So shout out to Panthers and making that incredible feat, which is amazing. Back to back is incredible. Hopefully they'll go for a triple next year. Who knows?
Yes.
So that's a great thing, and it's just really amazing, to be down here because a lot of people from the East Coast living in Florida, and really it's amazing. In the area I'm in, South Florida, people are pretty much just like New Yorkers. They're rude. They're always in a hurry. Makes me feel at home.
Well, that's good. Well, my niece is down there. She's in the Fort Lauderdale area. My sister a few years ago moved from there over to Alabama with my other sister. But yeah, I like it down there. It's nice.
Feels like home. So I'm really thrilled.
Awesome. Oh my goodness. All right, Al. Let's get started here into some questions so we can learn some more about branding and innovation from you.
Sure.
All right. So what inspired you to write the AI LinkedIn Advantage? And what key takeaways do you hope readers get from that or gain?
Well, when I did my research, I was looking for books on LinkedIn that would also talk about AI, and I didn't really find anything out there. And now that AI is becoming more popular, I thought it was a good time to write something that would help people to save a lot of time on LinkedIn, to help create ideas, and to help basically become a show of force on this platform, because it's an amazing platform. You have close to over 900 million subscribers on LinkedIn. And it's amazing how it's grown since an infancy, since almost two decades ago, I was part of LinkedIn when it started, and I watched it grow throughout the years, and it really amazes me. Ever since Microsoft took over, they really made a lot of changes. I think it's definitely a platform for business owners, for professionals to use a way to network compared to the old-fashioned way of in-person networking, which really is time-consuming and not really sometimes effective, because sometimes you can be in an event or a party speaking with someone and you have a great conversation, and all of a sudden, well, they're not a decision maker, but they just want to, waste your time. Where
Right.
you can find a decision maker and a president and speak to them directly. And what could be better than doing that from the comfort of home? That's really amazing technology. So I'm thrilled to be part of that platform.
How has AI transformed the way professionals approach personal branding on LinkedIn?
Well, it's very simple. What AI does, it actually helps you create the content which helps establish you as a thought leader because you're seen as an educator and a salesperson. So if you can create content, particularly if you have newsletters on LinkedIn, you can use that as a way to outreach to your followers about things that are of value to them. And that's important. So the thing about LinkedIn is it's more about giving than receiving. So you want to really provide value to whoever you're connecting with. A lot of people, when they post on LinkedIn, it's pretty much self-serving for the most part. They're just trying to advertise their services. And that's really not the approach to work with LinkedIn. So with AI, it'll allow you to create the content, the ability to create scripts for videos, a whole host of things that'll save you a lot of time. And that's really what it's great about the technology nowadays. It's really, truly amazing.
Now, Al, are you talking about built-in AI that's inside of LinkedIn or outside tools, and then we bring that content and post it into LinkedIn?
Well, usually it's outside tools like, for example, ChatGPT, which people are familiar with,
Hmm.
which allows you to create content and you can use it to think of ideas for your newsletter, for example,
Hmm.
or perhaps responding to a post that an influencer posted on and, giving it away than just saying, thanks for sharing, but add value to that individual's post. That's
Yeah.
important. And that's what AI can help you do, which is amazing.
Yeah, I like that because then you start to really begin a more solid relationship. I always say, well, show interest in what the person is talking about, like you said, more than just great content, or so we can really say how this resonated and but say it professionally, intelligently with the help of AI tools. So I like that. You had mentioned about the newsletters. Now this is a question that I have because I create my newsletter, email marketing, and email it out to my list, but I also have it connected or I connect it up to LinkedIn. So I'm always toying with how much information do I put the entire newsletter there and then say subscribe to the email list, or should we just put a portion of that as an intro, enough to for people to engage, but have that subscription also go to the email list?
Well, I mean, if you have an existing database of emails, certainly continue with that. But if you want to gain traction, LinkedIn, you can create up to 5 different newsletters on LinkedIn itself. And what's unique about the newsletters on LinkedIn, as soon as it gets posted, they'll be notified on LinkedIn as well as outside of LinkedIn, for example, in their corporate emails and such. And LinkedIn has such a high authority that it actually bypasses most of the spam filters. So it actually gets read by most of the individuals you're reaching and connecting to, which is something that people don't know about. So if you want to make those connections and get the information read, that's definitely a way to use LinkedIn to that advantage because it's a credible tool that LinkedIn allows you to do that. And they encourage you to do that and try to do at least every week if you can. Weekly is ideal, so you be top of mind. And you do that, you'll find a lot of people be interested and reach out to you, and a great way to do business.
Okay, thank you. Now, can you give us a success story of someone who has used the strategies from your book to achieve remarkable results?
Well, yeah, I mean, I had a client who we were working on, and we figured out a way to help optimize his profile. And we added a lot of key features on the profile. Particularly, we focused on getting recommendations to establish someone as a trustworthy individual. And that's something that they didn't really realize how important that was. And I shared with them why it's important. And he took that information, got at least a dozen different recommendations, and he used it on his own personal website and showed people, that they're real people. So when they click on it, they can go ask him, how are we doing? And
Right.
so that's really a unique feature about it. We use strategies within LinkedIn's paid feature called Sales Navigator and how to find people who are on LinkedIn in their particular field. They were focusing on primarily attorneys, estate planning attorneys, and they were using the LinkedIn tool, Sales Navigator, to find those individuals based on company size, based on location, and how active they were on LinkedIn. And that's something they were shocked to find that information readily available. So the paid versions of LinkedIn definitely do give you a lot of advantages that most people aren't aware of. And it's really a great networking tool. It also alerts you who's checked out your profile. which is also unique too. So if someone's looked at your profile, you may do an outreach to that person. You may not have to connect them directly, but just ask them, hey, thanks for stopping by my profile. What made you decide to look? It could be something as a common interest, like they shared a common person, or they were looking for something in their profile and they found it interesting. Maybe they were an SEO expert or something of that nature. In addition, I told them to focus in on gaining groups, find groups that are attracting his clientele. So he looked at various groups and he found lawyer groups that are focusing on estate planning, the lawyers looking for marketing tips. And he joined those groups and he posts in those groups every week to help gain traction and become an authority figure. So this was something never knew that was available. And all of a sudden he's gained a tremendous amount of followers and has done quite a lot of business as a result of those types of things, which showcased in my book. So, yeah.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. All right. So for someone who is new to LinkedIn, and I'm not sure if your client was new, but because that was a great story, what are the first steps they should take to create a standout profile using AI tools?
Well, certainly you can use AI to find keywords for your headline. I believe you can do up to 60 words or something, characters. So you want to maximize the amount of characters in there because that's the first thing that people are going to look at. In addition to having a great headshot, which definitely works well. Headshots.
Wait a minute, not just a good headshot, but a current good headshot.
And, those headshots can actually even be enhanced with AI. So there's no excuse for not investing the time and the money to get something. Because that really, like I said, you don't get a second chance to get a first impression. That really.
Amen.
So, and then work on your background image as well, which is important to kind of showcase some of your talents. And what's interesting is that LinkedIn with Sales Navigator has a feature where you can do up to 5 different slides on the background image. So literally, it was almost like a slideshow, like in my profile. I have 5 different slides that showcase certain talents that I have that are important for people to know that I do more than just LinkedIn optimization, but also worked on LinkedIn strategies for outreach. So these things are important when you're looking at it because it just gives you something that makes you stand out from the crowd that's offering similar services. So that's important.
Yeah. Okay, that's a great feature right there. I like that. What common mistakes then do we make on LinkedIn that holds us back from maximizing our potential?
Very simple. If you're not optimizing your profile and you're doing outreach, you're going to find yourself falling flat because people, like I said, you only have a few seconds to get their attention and they're going to move on. So if you decide to go ahead and try to do outreach, or what a lot of people do when they're first starting is what they call pitch slapping.
What's that, Al?
Well, simply put, as soon as they make a connection, they want to sell you something, okay? Right off the bat. And that's the biggest turnoff. And you got to really say, just think about it. If you were at a cocktail party or some networking event and if you're exchanging cards, they're pitching you what they're doing to try to sell you something, and you're going to walk away. You're going to turn off. It's the same thing. They think that works online better, but it doesn't. It just really falls flat. And or if they're posting on their profile, some of the great things their company's doing, and they're all narcissistic. My company does this, I'm that, without really giving any value to someone. Who cares? Okay. Even with the client testimonials, okay, most people are going to think they're all fake to begin with. So you want testimonials, look at the recommendations on your profile. Okay. Get testimonials that way because those are real people.
Yes.
So these are just clear examples of what you can avoid to do before you do any outreach is optimize the profile. I have a system, not only just in my book, but I also have a course that I give on my website, linkvantage.com, that they can take on how to optimize the profile to make sure you get the right key features in there, get everything in place before you do anything outreach. And once you do that, then there's strategies and how to do it properly, how to connect with someone. When I connect with someone, for the most part, I usually follow them first before I make a direct outreach, especially if it's an influencer. I mean, because a lot of times you'll want to connect with all the influencers online, and what will happen is that LinkedIn will find that these guys rejected you, and LinkedIn will slow you down, and at some point they may consider you as a spammer. But if you follow these influencers and comment on their posts, particularly within, as soon as they post, they may appreciate that. And all of a sudden you may get their attention, get on their radar. Their followers will also consider you on their radar too. And you're adding value to his post. All of a sudden you're getting noticed. And the algorithm loves it. LinkedIn loves that kind of thing. That's the way to grow organically on LinkedIn is to really, follow individuals and then reach out and let them know if they want to make a connection. That's important. Or if you know someone that is related to that individual, like a second connection, perhaps the other person can make an introduction for you. I mean, these are great techniques to use instead of choosing the way to do it blindly and just trying to go out and think you can get around that. You can't. It's all about proper way to network. And that's my book teaches how to do that the right way.
Okay. Awesome. Then also, do you cover our response to those type of spammers? Like you said, they just slap into our message queues there, with the sales pitch. And the kind of the ones that usually burn me up is like, I noticed in your profile that you do so and so and so, and that is not in my profile. But did you really even look at it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there are settings in your LinkedIn profile that you can use to limit that amount. And also, when you see that, if you find it to be really annoying, you can actually report that particular post or connection and they'll get blocked. I mean, in addition to that, they may have their account terminated because of that, because LinkedIn is very much on top of this. They want to make a platform friendly for people to do that. But if you're not proactively doing it, you'll get a lot more of those things. You have to really be proactive, and LinkedIn will step in and say, enough of these silly ads, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen the difference. It really, I get maybe once every 2 weeks at best. And that really makes a difference. So just don't be afraid to do that, because there is a feature where it allows you to stop that in its tracks.
All right. So how do you see LinkedIn evolving in the next 5 years or so? And what role will AI play in its transformation?
Well, certainly I see LinkedIn to continue to grow and to expand on the platform. I see that a lot of people nowadays will connect across the country, across the world. And I feel that AI will be part of that, because the technology is always evolving. It'll help people create content. It'll help people to become thought leaders, where before in the past was almost impossible, because the amount of time you have to spend to create content is always time consuming. So if this helps you to become better at it, I think that's definitely what I see in the future. AI will be part of that. Even in creating videos. I mean, you can, for example, have an avatar of yourself talking, with your words, and creating interest to people you want to connect with. And that's really amazing. The technology has gotten to the point where you can really don't have to be there physically to do what you want to say, and have the avatar represent you and talk about topics that'll be of value to the people who are following you. So that's tremendous. So I see that in the future.
That is tremendous. Can you break down a practical strategy, or, AI-driven strategy from your book that listeners can implement right away?
Strategy? Well, yeah, I mean, certainly focus on optimizing your profile.
Mm-hmm.
Look for opportunities to get recommendations from whoever the people you're connected with. If you're first starting out, don't have much recommendations, I would look to join groups, be part of the groups itself, add value to the groups that you're connecting with things that are educational by nature, and just really, take the time to, learn LinkedIn. It's a great platform if you use it the right way. You'll find that you'll gain a lot of followers, you'll get a lot more business, and you won't have to do any other networking other than on that platform, which is tremendous.
If there is one mindset shift professionals need to dominate on LinkedIn, what would that be?
You need to create content. You need to create articles, newsletters, videos that help set you apart from the competition. If you want to become a thought leader like me, write a book. This is the ultimate opportunity where you can share your knowledge and be considered as an expert. I do speaking engagements beyond this. I speak with groups about optimizing LinkedIn profile. And it's gave me so much opportunity to become a thought leader. If people think about LinkedIn, they think of me first, then competition. That's what you have to do. If you want to set yourself apart, create content, write a book, or like a podcast, and do the same thing. These are just examples that will help you become dominant in your profession.
It's Audrey Wiggins, your tech diva, celebrating 18 years in business. Thank you to my amazing clients, trusted vendors, and faithful cheerleaders. We've come a long way since launching Altogether Marketing, and it's all because of you. From marketing strategy to branded merchandise, here's how we've helped businesses shine: graphic and web design, marketing and branding strategy, social media management, domain names and web security, online courses and coaching, video production, podcast planning and design, branded merchandise. So enjoy 18% off graphic and web design services now through July 7th in celebration of our 18th anniversary. As we come to a close here, then, what's one piece of advice that you'd give to professionals looking to build meaningful connections through LinkedIn?
If you're going to get started on LinkedIn, in addition to optimizing your profile, creating content, I would say to be on LinkedIn at least once a day if you can. Don't, like some people, post and ghost and they just disappear. And a lot of times people may respond to your post, but if you're not there to see what their responses are, they'll get turned off. So you really want to try to be active on LinkedIn at least 10 minutes a day if you can, just to check on what's happening in your posting and if you're posting regularly. And just to be, and reach out to influencers if you want to connect with and respond to their post, to get some awareness. This is all part of the process. So this is my suggestion, is to do those steps. A lot of it's in my book. It shows you all the things that I've done to help me become successful, and hopefully we'll share my knowledge with others. That'll be a great thing.
Awesome. So how can we get in touch with you, and where do we find your book, Al?
Well, you can scan the QR code right over here, I think. That QR code.
I know. It's like, which way is this camera going?
So go there. You can also go on Amazon, and it's also available on Spotify as well, and ebook version will be available at that time. Hardcover is currently available. So yeah, definitely check it out. Reach out to me on LinkedIn as well. Happy to connect with people.
Okay. And what's that website again?
LinkedVantage.com. LinkedVantage also has a free ebook that helps people optimize their profile. There are things in my ebook that are featured from my current LinkedVantage book, so they can download that for free, which is good, and give people an opportunity to check it out and test the waters.
Okay, linkedvantage.com. All right, Chop Squad, you have your marching orders. If you're watching, scan that QR code, and if not, the link here for the website, linkedvantage.com. So thanks, Al. If there's no other closing thoughts, we're going to call it a wrap.
Thank you, Audrey. Appreciate the opportunity.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thank you for listening to The Business Chop. We hope that you were able to glean valuable information from our guest and that you will download and share this podcast. Your rating and review is much appreciated. To go deeper with our guests, please visit their website and social channels. To learn more about us, please visit businesschop.info or altogether.biz, where we will help you expand your brand.